Happy Brendo to you.
You can't use that tune. That's copywritten. I believe we have to pay money to use that tune.
Oh, okay. It's Brendo's birthday. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
I'll just run with it. This is good.
The Gaming Lovers Podcast with Brendo and Jem.
That's right. It is Brendo's birthday. We're going to celebrate Brendo in this episode of the Gaming Lovers Podcast. G'day, I am Jem.
And I'm the birthday boy, and I deserve presents because I was birthed on this specific day, and that makes me the most important person in your sphere of influence for today.
Really, your mum is the one that deserves presents since she's the one that did the birthing?
Well, if I wasn't
all the
there,
hard work.
If I was not there to be birthed, there would be no celebration at all, is there?
Oh my goodness.
It is a weird thing. People celebrate birthdays, but if you think about it, it's a very weird thing to celebrate.
That you exist?
I existed before I was birthed.
True. Very true.
Anyway, that's
That's a
it's
whole
getting
other
weird.
discussion. Because it is your birthday, we're going to discuss your favorite video game character and series. Those who have been with us since the beginning know where I'm going with this. It is an episode all about Sonic. You've been warned. Before we get there, though, gaming goals.
You can't help it. It's just something about gaming goals that just makes you just want to go at the end. So I'm excited. I claimed I was going to beat Sekiro this week, and I didn't. And I blame one particular roadblock in the Hirata estate. You visit that in the past memory area, and then later in the game you can unlock it again and have a different boss at the end of it. And to avoid spoilers, I'm being vague, but that boss whooped me like no other boss in Sekiro has whooped me. And trust me, I has been whooped.
I've seen many of those fights just make you want to cry. So I'm glad that you've managed to get past some of those really frustrating ones.
Thankfully, my wife was my good luck charm. Occasionally, when you do watch me play video games, I try to make the fights more interesting, a little more flashy, a little bit more exciting for the spectator, you see. And as a result, often die and then have to redo the checkpoint, and it defeats the entire purpose because it makes it less exciting to watch. But thankfully, you were a good luck charm. I finally got past that boss. I'm back to exploring again. My favourite part of Sekiro's gameplay is the exploring, never knowing what's around the corner, particularly because at key points in this game, the whole scenario changes. Enemies are in different places. You might be going from A to B, and then there'll be an important story point, and then you're going from B to A. So you're going through things backwards. And it just feels like, oh, this is strange.
That would get confusing.
It does, because the ambush points are never where you expect them to be because you're coming from the other way, and yet I still fall for it quite frequently. I think I only have one prayer bead left to get. I'm very much in the end game. I can't have much left to go. But
Unless it's Trails of Cold Steel style.
No. I don't want that to happen with this game. If I get stuck in Sekiro, which I have on maybe 2 or 3 serious occasions, my enjoyment of the game plummets, nosedives. And I don't want that to happen again. There's a boss that I fought once and I beat it on the first go. There's a boss I've beaten on the second attempt, and then you got the bosses that took me 48 tries and everyone dying of blood rot, and it's just a mess. But they're the times that I think, no, I'm not playing this. This game's stupid. I'm not playing it. I don't want that to happen to me again. I was originally going to run this game repeatedly, back to back, start to finish. New game plus. Let's go. Now, once those credits roll, I believe I will be taking a short break from Sekiro.
Anything else been on your radar this past week?
Well, we have had some friends over, including my not my good buddy, the Falcon, but a different good buddy, Fatty Bin. That's an even funner name.
Yes, you may remember her from a very early episode where we had teens reacting to retro games. That's our fond nickname for her, which stemmed from a game of Jackbox.
Yep.
It was a weird... it's too long to explain how that nickname came about, but it is stuck.
Well, Fatty Bin and myself, we are human fall flat buddies. Now, she's not a traditional gamer.
No.
She's not even a casual gamer. She will play Jackbox or any party game if the need arises. But to play an actual third-person, floppy-armed exploration game, I never expected to bond so much over a video game with somebody who I didn't think would be able to handle the controls. And yet, the new Human Fall Flat level, Dark, was pretty darn great. And we got every achievement available in it.
Nice work.
Now, the main game felt like it should have ended after a specific level, and then there was the Aztec level that was released, and they launched the achievements for that late. So when Fatty Bin and myself played through Human Fall Flat in its quote-unquote entirety, we still had more to go when we came back to it this past weekend, which was kind of exciting because there was achievements to do on levels that we'd already done. And then while we were doing that, we were waiting for the new level to launch within hours. So it was this excitement of going back to a game that you love so much. The Dark level, quite possibly the greatest Human Fall Flat level there ever has fallen flat.
Well, while you were busy doing Human Fall Flat, her sisters and our other friends, Joj and Jammin, their names respectively, we were killing ourselves laughing at watching our poor avatars die in many, many gory ways with guts and glory, which is a really basic, super basic indie game, but in the right mood, hilarious.
Killing yourself laughing while killing them.
Yes.
On the computer
in lots of
screen.
horrible ways.
Now, this is just, there's just something charming about low budget games, especially with that audience.
If they're done right.
Oh,
in that
for
sense.
sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, without Human Fall Flat or Guts and Glory, what's like their favourite video game?
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
Low budget, janky physics, glitchy, laughter. Guts and Glory certainly fits into that. You're on a bicycle or a quad bike or a Jeep.
Or a hoverboard. I think that got introduced later in the game when you unlock different things.
And all you have to do is just go through the track and the obstacles and avoid the obstacles. Don't get shot by arrows. Don't get blown up by bombs. Don't get hit by cannonballs.
Don't have limbs severed from your body because there's this nice, very pleasant street that you're just riding your bicycle down, but they have, for totally no reason at all, buzzsaws just lying around waiting to cut your legs
It's
off.
a rough neighbourhood. But quite a bit of fun was had in that game. The fact that you are riding a bike and you have a co-pilot in a baby seat behind you, which may or may not make it to the exit alongside you. You have an ejector seat button. That's always a good time. There's plenty to enjoy. I took a roll of the dice with this one. It was still full price. This is the sort of game I snipe when they're on sale, thinking this should at least get us an hour of laughs next time friends come over or whatever. But I decided to take a shot at it. I bought it full price. It's not a game that will be prestigious or winning any awards or even reviewing well, but we had a darn good time with Guts and Glory.
Absolutely. And even the annoying orange, a bit of a throwback there, making a cameo, like Easter egg appearance in one of the levels. But yeah, they got stuck on one level and I had been busy doing something else while you had introduced them to this game when I finally joined them, and they were getting sick of this thing because they couldn't get past it. And I sat down, they're like, "Oh, you try it, Jam." I'm like, "Okay." And then they got very mad at me because I got further than they did my first try.
Pat yourself on the back.
Like, woo!
No, seriously, do it. The microphone will pick it up. There we go.
Yeah, that was a good pat. But seriously.
Even saying how well you pat yourself on the back. Ego is getting out of control here.
It was a lot of fun though. I had moments where I was just in stitches, and I love gaming when it's like that. You know, it brings me back to my childhood of like local co-op gaming and just watching and laughing at each other too. So it's nice to be able to still have that.
And I know you're having a good time when you have to reach for the Ventolin inhaler because video game laughter does do that to you.
Because it's killing me. Yep. It was really good. There's been a lot of gaming for me this week, aside from Guts and Glory.
Mm-hmm.
First up, I have finished Mass Effect 2.
That's good.
I technically do have the Arrival DLC to do. I like to do that at the end because I feel like it ties in with 3 better, flows in with the story. So, but yeah, the credits rolled, so I count that as finished.
Nothing like revisiting an old favourite.
Yes, it's like got to be at least an annual tradition for me. But my big thing that I did this week. Which, if you follow us on social media, you probably already know about, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate finally launched the Joker DLC, the Fighter Pack.
Nintendo did make a mistake.
Just at the same time that they did a scheduled maintenance. Well done, Nintendo.
They tweet out, they send out the flares all over social media. The Joker DLC is available right now.
And about 5 people managed to download it before the maintenance kicks in and locks everybody out of the online servers.
You can't access anything that's online. You can't update a game. You can't download it. You can't go on the eShop to buy the season pass. We can't connect you to anything. Our entire online service is not functioning. And Twitter was getting a little angry.
There are lots of memes that infamous "let me in" meme doing the rounds. One of my faves at the moment.
Now, once we actually got it downloaded, however, there was quite a bit of meat on the bone of the 3.0.0 update.
Oh, yeah.
And I do not have a stutter. That's actually the number.
Yes.
3.0.0.
Lots of stuff added aside from Joker, lots of skins, and there was a bit of a nice surprise for me because we have the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee game as a side bonus, as a spirit. One of the spirits that you can call upon in the game. I have
Eevee?
Because it's like a free thing because we have the game. So I was like, that was pretty cool to see that. I'm like, yay, Eevee.
Unexpected.
So imagine if you had chosen Pikachu, right? Pikachu's already in the game, so that would seem kind of like a waste.
Well, you can't play as Eevee.
No, but even so, imagine, like, you've got Pikachu already in the game, but you don't have Eevee in the game in any form, so that to me was just like, yeah, nice little cherry on top. But that said, I hate trying to play Smash on the Joy-Cons. It's just not organic for me because I was like too impatient to connect it to the TV.
Yeah.
So because I'd been walking around downloading it.
Or attempting to.
Yes. And so I played it immediately portable style, and my first try playing as Joker failed spectacularly because my hands just like couldn't get comfortable. That, and I'm so used to playing as Kirby that trying to figure out the moveset of this new character, I was like, okay, hang on, how do I jump? How do I use the grapple hook? Like, every time I got thrown off the level, I didn't know how to recover like I do with Kirby. So I was like in all sorts of trouble. So yes, I think next time I attempt, I'm going to have to sit down properly and do like a training level almost with Joker and get used to his movesets, because I love how the level of momentous like changes the colors and the music and stuff to match not just the Persona 5 game, but Persona 3 and 4. There's lots of little Easter eggs that just have me completely like geeking out.
Unexpected twist on that level.
Yes.
You never saw it coming.
Never saw it coming.
Predictable joke, but it had to be done.
It's interesting though. Like Joker, for those who have had the chance to play, have all noted that he's pretty weak when you first play as him. Like, a lot of his general attacks don't do that much, but once he gets his special built up, his rebellious gauge, and releases Arsene, then he is a almost overpowered
Then he
character.
kicks Arsene.
So, it's the art style and everything, and just having that, if he does win, the victory music with the do 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 do. It just makes me want to play Persona all over again too.
It really does.
I'm so easily swayed. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and well worth the wait, well worth even the drama with the internet and things like that. So I think Nintendo really went all in with making these additional characters worth it.
Yeah, there's still 4 to go of the planned DLC, and it's a big mystery. Nintendo are probably better than most at keeping things under wraps.
Yes.
Which is always appreciated by me. I love finding out little details here and there about a game that's coming out, but there's nothing more exciting than when you just get the big reveal trailer and you're just like, oh my gosh, there's a stage builder. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
The stage builder included in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate now. People have been making some absolutely incredible things, as displayed by the fact someone made the DVD screensaver with the logo floating around.
That's amazing. I hadn't seen that one. I saw a lot of great wrestling stages, like people recreating the sets from different WrestleManias and stuff. I'm like, that's so funny. And, appropriate having stages from that for a fighting game. So, yeah, there's been a lot of funny and very creative stages already out. So I'm sure there'll be even more in the weeks to come. But yeah, so it's good to see them finding ways to keep that game fresh and keep people coming back to it. Because I think after the initial release, you have a bit of a drop-off of people that get distracted by other new games that come out. So having this...
Yep, that's me.
having this drip feed, it kind of gets your attention back. You're like, oh yeah, I do love this game. And it makes you want to keep playing again and again and again. So this is one of those instances where DLC does work and it is done well and it doesn't feel too...
money grabby.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're ripping you off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, that may have been all the video games that I played this week, but there was one little achievement that I unlocked in real life, and that was to make an absolute fool out of myself. And it's video game related.
That sounds like an average Tuesday.
Well, for the record, it was not a Tuesday.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
So there you go. Now, we had some friends and family over to celebrate a couple of things. A friend's birthday, another friend visiting from overseas, and I decided to be the noble food courier to go and collect everybody's meals for lunch. Now, a lot of people wanted food from a restaurant that I'd never personally ordered from. So I wanted a giant handwritten list of everybody's orders, everything extra, everything you want, write it down. Mexican restaurant, we had burritos, we had quesadillas, we had...
Quesadillas.
I know, it's like birthday with an F, because I say it wrong on purpose so much that now I can't say it right. Quesadillas.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to get all their orders. Who wants sour cream? This one's got guac. This one's got that. This one's got this. I go to the place and I'm like, I've never ordered here before, but I'll give it a shot. So I go through and I want the spicy burrito bowl with guacamole.
With a side of lucha libre.
That's right. She says, you mean guacamole? And I'm like, yes, I just said a video game name to you. Guacamole, fantastic game, and I'd highly recommend it. But not something you should try ordering at a Mexican restaurant.
Unless they have like a Happy Meal with toys from it. That would work out well.
I want the spicy burrito bowl with sour cream and guacamole, thank you. So that was embarrassing, but I thought it would make a great story to share on the Gaming Lovers. I'm sure we've all made that mistake. I've not said the word guacamole in years.
No, we just say guac. Like, we're lazy. We
I have no
shorthand
reason to
everything.
say it. I don't even eat it. I have no reason to actually say that word.
It has been a while since we've had it.
But I have said the word guacamole,
A lot.
50 times in the past 5 years. And so that's become the default thing. Again, it's like birthday with an F. Guacamole. Goodness me.
Funny stuff. Before we get to all the sonicness for your birthday,
Yeah.
we have some gaming news after this. Share the love. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Gaming Lovers.
it has been quite the week in gaming.
It has been, but the good news is there'll be one less game that I get to play because Katana Zero has been the most recent game to fall victim to the Australian ratings board. Now, from what reports have come through, it's not so much the content of the game that got it denied classification. I think it was simply entered wrong. The data was entered wrong because the first phase of it is an automated rating thing. So if you don't submit the right details, it's just denied classification
It's
out
like
of the gates.
filling out your application wrong
Yeah.
on any kind of government form if you don't spell your name correctly or your address. Denied.
So the last Nintendo Indie Showcase highlight reel had one game that I was excited for, Katana Zero, and as it stands, will not be released in Australia. Now, thankfully, they will go through and appeal this and actually get it looked at by a real human being and not GLaDOS. But that's just a little snippet for you. Well done, Australia. We finally got an R18 adult rating for video games. And I think ever since that came in, more games have been banned. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so weird. I don't know if they've really used it. They've maybe used it like a couple of times.
It does get used. It does get used.
Very rarely.
Not the sort of games you play, but it does get used. Until Dawn is rated R.
That's true.
But yes, that's just a little snooze snippet that I'm kind of annoyed at. That's the news you get here at the Gaming Lovers. We don't often cover news, only if it directly affects us.
That's why there's so much about like Persona and other games that we love, and then you'll hear nothing about online multiplayer games.
Nothing. You came 19th out of 20 in Apex Legends.
Can you stop reminding people of my failures? Thank you. Oh dear. One of the biggest things though in gaming this week, the PlayStation 5 has officially been announced.
Well, we can put officially with asterisks because that's not the name that they've said.
Well,
The
that's
next generation of Sony
pish
PlayStation.
posh, that's what it is.
It will be. I mean, I'm pretty sure every PlayStation that's come up, they're like, oh, no, PlayStation 3 is just a working title. Oh, it's called the PlayStation 3. But PlayStation 4 is just a working title. It's PlayStation 4. So
I'm happy for them to remain numerically correct because it kind of annoys me when other things don't do that.
with the Xbox to the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One.
It's just like, come on, guys, get your stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the PS5, quote unquote, will be backwards compatible with, at the very least, PS4 games. And it has a solid state drive instead of a hard drive, which is much faster for data access. Supposedly, they ran Spider-Man on a development kit PS5, and the loading screen went from something like 28 seconds to 0.8 seconds to go from one side of the map to the other. Phenomenal cosmic power.
Phenomenal. I'm excited because there's going to be some backwards compatibility for games from the PlayStation 4. So it means that
We made the right choice in skipping the PS4 Pro.
Yay!
We were very early adopters of the PlayStation 4. We decided to hold off when the midpoint consoles came out, the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X. There you go, talking about great names of sequential consoles.
It's like iPhones with their S's. It's like, good grief.
So hopefully it looks like we've made the right choice until the PS5 Pro comes out in 5 years and we have to update again anyway. But they're saying this console could release as early as 2020.
An Olympic console.
Because if you think about it, the PS4 has been out about 6 years, so unbelievably,
It's gone fast.
we could be approaching the end of the PS4's lifespan. That is baffling.
It's been a really good console, though. You think of some of the titles and exclusives that it's had such a solid run. Because before that came out, I think I was kind of very much an Xbox 360 girl.
Oh, yeah.
I predominantly played games on that, and I had the Star Wars edition one too, and I still use it to this day. But for newer titles, it's all very much PlayStation 4.
I seem to flip-flop my allegiance every generation, so I'm just no good at brand loyalty.
You never know what Xbox might bring out, though, so...
No, I'm all about Google Stadia. Thank you. Next generation, I'm on board with the big G. Speaking of Xbox, however, the Xbox One S, I think, is their smaller version. Again,
the Slim.
Terrible branding choices just by slapping a letter on it. They are releasing another version of that does not contain a disk drive. It will be cheaper. It will be all hard drive based. No discs can go in it.
Just digital downloads.
Digital downloads only, or their Game Pass services or anything like that that's all online and onto your hard drive. No discs can fit into it. So it saves money because you don't have as many physical parts that can break down. But that was one of my concerns, that's the way gaming could be going. And hopefully it is just an alternative and not the way of the future.
Given that people still use like DVDs and Blu-rays for movies and stuff, and you haven't been able to completely phase those out.
When the internet goes down and you've got
Exactly,
nothing else to watch.
you need another alternative. So having everything be digital downloads, while it's good, I think, for a younger generation or for people that really love that system, you need both.
Yeah, well, it's exactly the same with movies. If there's a movie I really, really want to own, I will buy the Blu-ray of it, even if it's on a streaming service, just because then I have it. It's mine.
Yes.
And games are the same. That's why I like to buy them, because they're my preciouses.
And you never know when they're going to be removed from a streaming service. So we've covered that at length in previous episodes of the Gaming Lovers podcast. So yeah, quite the week in gaming.
There's been a bit going on,
Just
and
the
there's more to come, because in the next week we're going to find out all about Persona 5 The Royal. Find out exactly what it is, and if it is not exactly what Gem hopes it is, she will be devastated by this time next week.
Yes, so I'll either be annoyingly elated or like catatonically depressed. So
Get your bets in, ladies and gentlemen.
It should be an interesting week. Now it's time for some Sonic fun for the birthday boy after this.
You're listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. Want to join the conversation? Visit thegaminglovers.com. Record your comment or question by clicking on the button on the right-hand side, and you could be featured in the next podcast.
And that's about as much as I know.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna be dopey. So, Mr. Sonic Lover.
It's undisputed that Sonic the Hedgehog is my all-time favourite video game character. I bonded with that character early on. I loved to run. I was a smarty pants as a young child. A good kid. I had good morals, but I liked to be cheeky, and Sonic just exuded that. And so when I started to play video games and I saw a certain blue hedgehog who had all the qualities that I liked and admired, then that was the right character for me.
So much so that you even run like Sonic. That cracks me up.
Well, look, you learn from the best.
Seriously, I remember years back, the first time I saw you like running around, we were playing like a picnic or something. And maybe cricket or footy, and you were running around the field with your arms behind you like they were streamers, running with your head bent forward like Sonic. And it wasn't until you told me later that you have grown up running like Sonic that I clicked that's what you were doing. It's kind of funny and cute.
Yeah, it's kind of funny and dorky, but especially in primary school, I was all about Sonic. To the point where I even got a Student of the Week award for going 7 days without mentioning Sonic in my schoolwork.
See, that's how you get awards.
If I had to write an instructional piece, it was how to turn on your Sega Master System 2 and play Sonic the Hedgehog. If it had to be a creative piece set in a fantasy world, well, on the planet Mobius, Sonic the Hedgehog
Sonic and
was
the
there with his
Seven Rings.
friends. It could be written.
You probably could have written it better.
Probably could. There's been ups, there's been downs. If you've been a Sonic fan like myself over the years, you know the heartbreak that comes with every new Sonic game that does not live up to the hype, which is a lot of them.
Most of them.
But man, as a kid, I had Sonic comics. I had my mother made curtains out of Sonic the Hedgehog patterns and designs. I had Duna covers. I had everything. Except a plushie. I never had a Sonic plushie until I was a fully formed adult. Then bought my own.
There's been many since then. You're welcome.
So what would you like to know about Sonic? I could tell you just about anything.
Well, I thought this is a bit of a birthday celebration, so rather than kind of quiz your knowledge on the world of Sonic, because you pretty much know it all.
I do not think I know anybody, person to person, obviously. The internet community is a large spectrum, but I don't think there's anybody who I know is a bigger Sonic fan than myself. And I've played enough crappy Sonic games to warrant that badge of honor.
Well, instead of testing your trivia knowledge, we're just going to do a test to find out which iconic Sonic character you are.
Oh.
Doing a personality test.
I'm sure this has been backed by science.
Totally. It's just off some random website online. Yay! Super, super accurate. Okie dokie. What is your favourite colour?
Red, not blue. You'd think it'd be blue based off the love of Sonic, but no. Red. I guess I'm going to be Knuckles now. That was quick.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
What are the options?
Play sports, cook, sleep, use technology,
Yes.
or read?
Technology.
Technology?
Now I'm going to be Tails. That's what I hate about personality quizzes.
They're so obvious,
is when
right?
you can see where the answers are going.
What is your favourite animal? Is it a cat, a bat, a hedgehog, dog, or echidna?
Dog? Who the heck would a dog be?
I don't know. Eggman?
What's your favourite animal? Human or egg? It would have to be cat or hedgehog.
You gotta choose one.
In recent years, it's probably a hedgehog. They're so darn cute. Togedemaru is my favourite Pokemon now, and he's a hedgehog.
I'm not allergic to hedgehogs, so that helps. If you saw someone who is injured, what would you do? Call someone to help? Help them yourself? Ignore them?
I'd get someone else to help them. That way it's their legal liability, not mine.
There's the train driver speaking. What's your ideal element? Fire, water, earth, or air?
Which one do you think would be my ideal element? Because I know I've thought of this ever since the days of Captain Planet.
Oh, heart's not on there.
Which do you think I would choose?
Fire.
Nope.
No.
I would choose wind or air in this case.
Air. I always liked wind. My sister Melissa and I would fight over that one. Where would you like to live? On the beach? In space? In the mountains? On a floating island? Or in a valley?
Well, floating island does sound idealistic, but that and space do make it quite difficult to be practical. Mountains, I don't like driving in mountains, so I'm scratching that as well. Beach or valley?
Which one?
Mm,
You must pick one.
give me the valley. I'd be a valley boy, not a valley girl.
Totally. Like, oh my goodness. What is like your favorite time of day? Is it morning, evening, night, or afternoon?
Oh, please,
Sorry, I'll
you
stop.
can stop that immediately. Evening.
Evening.
Best time of day to drive trains, that's why. When the sun has gone down and I can actually see without squinting.
Who do you hope to get? Amy, Sonic, Tails, Shadow, Rogue, Blaze, Silver, or Knuckles?
Sonic? It's just going to be that he's going to choose the answer.
The final question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What saying do you live by? Speed is key. A pretty face does not mean a pretty heart.
Oh,
Love is an open door.
is that one of them?
That is one of them.
Is it sung?
I don't know. I just sang it because how could you not? Life is too short to not have fun. You know my name, not my story. You've
Ooh.
heard what I've done, not what I've been through.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds like a villain's mantra right there.
sinister.
Sometimes I wish I could fast forward the time just to see if in the end it's all worth it.
Oh, but
So,
then you've lost all the time in between. That does not sound like a smart choice. What was after Love is an Open Door?
life is too short to not have fun.
What was the next one after that?
You know my name, not my story.
Yeah, give me that one.
All right, Mr. Eggman.
This is how villains are created.
Calculating results.
Oh, here it is. What's your bet?
I don't know. You've had a bit of a mishmash.
I think I've changed every answer.
You probably have.
Here I come!
Congratulations, you got Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yay!
You're cool, kind, sporty, and a little cocky kid.
Yeah.
But you have one of the biggest hearts out there.
That's why I like Sonic. It's his heart. He's a good guy. He does good things. He sacrifices himself, and he does all for the good cause.
You love adventure and danger. You are fun, and people love to be around you.
Yes.
You can be a bit of a loner
Yes.
and a risk taker, but at the end of it all, your friends are your strength.
I don't like friends. Nah, I do like friends. Well, there you go. I am Sonic the Hedgehog personified in human form, and that's not a weird fanfic picture that you can find online because I'm sure there's
There would
plenty
be so
of
much.
them.
There's so much creepy fan art about Sonic. I don't know
I don't
why.
know why. Why? Leave it alone, everyone. Sonic deserves your respect.
That's just how the internet rolls, though. They just take anything and then they make it weird.
Let's get back on topic. Which Sonic games have you played? Has there been any games that you've actually played in the Sonic the Hedgehog series?
Yes, because you've made me.
It was a loaded question, admittedly.
Going back to, I think, that same episode with the teenagers reacting to retro games, I believe you forced the controller into my hand with the Sonic level.
Forced.
Yes, not Sonic Forces. That was one of the classic original Sonics. I think Sonic 2, one of the best
Correct.
ones.
Look at you. You actually paid attention.
I remember things, thank you. Sonic for me, because I've never been great at platformers anyway, but I think trying to keep up with the speed and the panic of just constantly falling off stuff, it was never really my cup of tea. I like Sonic as a character, and ironically, I really love the animation, the Sonic Boom animation. The TV
Yes.
series is really funny. It's so dorky. It's got some great puns, and I find watching that really relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So, sadly, the Sonic Boom video game is one of the worst video games of all time.
Hang on. I want to talk about the good stuff. Go back to Sonic 2, not Sonic Boom. Sonic 2. You said you don't like the speed and you're always falling off things and it just never feels thing. It's more free form than a Mario, for example, or any other strategic, timely platformer. It's far looser. It's more like rollerblading or whatever. It's less controlled, admittedly.
But then you can roll straight into spikes that you didn't see coming because it's going so fast. And I think as a kid, like, I didn't quite grasp the concept of it as well, so I just stayed away from it. That, and I never had a Sega system, so it was always Nintendo in our house. I never really played it until I was much older.
Yeah.
Like, properly.
Yeah, the good thing with Sonic level design, the higher you stay on the level usually, the more advanced and tricky it is to land on platforms and things, but it's a quicker path to the exit. And just like Yuji Naka said when he created Sonic, he learnt that how? Now, I know you've studied this. What game did he play repeatedly and got faster and faster at it, which inspired him to create Sonic the Hedgehog?
Super Mario.
Super Mario.
That first level that you have to get through.
World 1, Level 1.
Yeah.
The faster you go, the better it feels because you're just flying through every obstacle. Just the background's just floating past you. Sonic feels good when you go fast. And if you're ever in danger, just roll down a hill. And that way, if you hit an enemy, you should kill it. Unless it has spikes on its face, which some of them do. Okay, it's not for everyone, I'll admit it. You had to be there, darling.
And that, I think, is, like, part of that factor is that there is a lot of nostalgia behind it too. And because some of the more modern iterations just haven't hit that mark as well, unfortunately, as the earlier games, then younger generations that have been introduced to it don't like it because that's what they're playing and they're going, ooh, what is this? So unfortunately, poor Sonic's reputation has been quite tarnished over the years.
Yeah.
Like Mario has had some dud games, but nothing as bad, unfortunately for you.
Unfortunately, yes.
As Sonic. So that's why I think that legacy, I know that they deliberately created Sonic as to be like a rival for Mario as far as competing and having that like a console icon.
And an icon he definitely was. I stand
Still
by
is.
the fact that at one point in history, in the United States of America, more children could identify Sonic the Hedgehog than Mickey Mouse.
That's pretty awesome. And he was the first video game character to ever be in the Macy's parade. He sadly popped, but that's still an achievement.
He must have hit the spikes as well. See, that's the problem.
He's going too fast in the
How
parade.
ridiculous.
Oh.
Now, what I find interesting is I grew attached to the Sega brand because that's the console I had growing up. I didn't have any Nintendo consoles before the Nintendo 64. My best friend in primary school had the Nintendo consoles. I had the Sega consoles. How different would my gaming interests be if I had a Nintendo console in those early days?
You'd be a different person.
There'd be so many different games.
You would run so differently.
I'd run like Mario instead. Is that what you want?
I don't
Be
know.
careful what you wish for.
You'd be doing those little hops.
Should I shave it into a mustache?
No.
Just the mustache?
Don't. You don't do that. Don't.
Don't?
Don't.
Okay. This is such a strange episode and I love it. We're just having a conversation about weird mustaches.
This is how we talk normally. We've just
That's right.
but there's a microphone here. Oh yeah. Yes. But seriously, Sonic is still a really cool character. So despite that I'm not as keen on his games, I still think he's a really well-rounded video game character and one that should never have been partnered with a human love interest.
Well, look, we all make our mistakes, and for some reason, they've made that multiple times.
Thank goodness. I know one of them got vetoed very early on in Sonic's history. It was like supposed to be some woman named Madonna that looks very much like body type wise like Jessica Rabbit, but with a different head.
Well, if she was a rabbit, would that be more acceptable?
Probably. Probably
An actual rabbit?
If it was, like one of the many animals that is in his world, as opposed to having a humanoid and well too realistic looking humanoid,
Yeah.
then that's like, because Eggman doesn't look as human.
Well, that's just it.
You know what I mean?
Eggman's been, or Dr. Robotnik, as I grew up with him. Eggman, it's interchangeable. Everyone calls him Eggman now, but in my heart, he will still be Dr.
Or
Ivor
Teddy
Robotnik.
Roosevelt. Seriously, once you see those comparison photos, you can't unsee that.
Even from the first games, he's a human in there. So it's not like it's explicitly, this is just an animal world with living animals, anthropomorphic, whatever the word was that we constantly muck up on this podcast. But then in later games, starting at like Sonic Adventure, they're just like in a city with other human beings walking around. And they're just like, oh, hi, Sonic. It's that hedgehog guy again. It's like, what?
It's jarring.
It's so strange. And let's not forget how strange it will be when you and I go and see the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
No.
Where Sonic has muscular legs
No.
and he is in the human world.
Don't do that to me.
Whether he got dragged into our world like he did in the Sonic X anime, or whether he has always been a part of this world like in Sonic Adventure, where people are just like, oh, hi, Sonic. You're just part of our existence. That's cool. We'll have to wait and find out. And don't forget, it truly is the greatest movie for Brendo's 1994 brain. Not only is Sonic the Hedgehog in it, but we have Jim Carrey playing as Dr. Eggman. Could I want anything more than that?
Oh, for it to be good.
There's a reason my face is so wrinkled, and that's because I do very animated, silly faces, and that is thanks to Jim Carrey. It's all coming together. This is truly the Brendo Appreciation Day.
Oh my goodness. Out of all the Sonic games, what has been your absolute favourite?
Favourite singular? The answer may shock you. That's just like my clickbait line.
Find out after this.
What do you think it would be? Based off, we've been married for almost, 7.5 years at this point. You've been around me enough to know that probably you won't go a 3-month span without me playing a Sonic game of some point.
Yeah. It's either Sonic 2 or possibly Generations.
They're in the top 3.
Oh,
So
I
that's,
missed one.
Yes, you can get one more bite at the cherry.
Shoot.
I'll tell you what, while you're thinking, let me just...
I know, it's Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Come on, I need you to get the right answer.
Oh my goodness.
Come on. Oh, do you know what that was?
Him drowning?
Yes.
That's awful.
The most panic-inducing music. I thought I would just play it just to help you have a think. I need your final answer. What do you think is the remaining game in my top 3 Sonic games?
Sonic Mania.
All right, that's 3 out of my top 4. As far as quality goes, Sonic Mania, Sonic Generations, Sonic 2, they're all up there. The one you were missing was Sonic Adventure, the Dreamcast Sonic game that stole my heart, as glitchy as it could be, on that first time out there in a 3D world. Technologically, I'd seen nothing like it at the time. The Dreamcast was a powerhouse compared to the Sony PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. I loved the whole gameplay style of that, and even the fishing mini games with Big the Cat. Good old Big the Cat.
What a name.
He's voiced by the same voice actor as Duke Nukem, and you could not get 2 very different characters. So, good work, John St. John.
Is that really his
That's
name?
his name. I'm full of Sonic trivia, don't forget.
Oh, yes you are.
Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive / Genesis, depending on your region. I loved that game. It's got plenty of iconic levels on it. Sonic 3 and Knuckles I played far less of at the early stages. I've played more of that in later years. And I really do enjoy those games, especially when you combine them into one large game. But Sonic 2, for whatever reason, just hits the mark. Absolutely. Sonic Mania recently came out and was made in part by fans people who understood what people wanted from a Sonic game, which has been the frustrating thing about being a Sonic fan, is that you spend most of your time going, I could make a better game than this. I have good ideas for game direction. Why don't you let us do it? Give the people the power. So the 2D style of games, probably Sonic 2 and Sonic Mania. 3D style of games, Sonic Generations was a home run at a time where they desperately needed one.
kept the Sonic saga alive.
And Sonic Adventure is a very interesting game because when it launched, review scores were through the roof. I'm talking mid to high 90s. And yet the game hasn't changed, but as it gets re-released on other consoles generations down the road, the score gets cut almost in half to like a 58. So it was innovative at the time. It doesn't really hold up, but there's just that pure nostalgia that I could start that game up and I will just be hooked until I beat it 100%. And I semi-recently, probably within the last 18 months to 2 years, got all the emblems in that game for the first time ever. So
Well
I'm
done.
so proud of me. Late teen Brendo would be so proud of what I've become.
Oh my goodness. And another Sonic game to look forward to soon, actually, in May. Team Sonic
hang on.
Racing.
You don't say those words in a sentence together. You don't say there's a Sonic game to look forward to because you're setting yourself up for heartbreak.
The last racing game was pretty solid.
Kind of pretty solid. I've given my hot take on this podcast before that I think Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed better than pretty much anything Mario Kart could throw my way.
Dangerous. Them fighting words right there.
As a racing game, I mean, polish-wise, Mario Kart takes the cake, but Sonic eats the cake because he's the victor.
The cake is a lie, honey. The cake is a lie. Let it go.
Sonic Team Racing, I am a little scared about, but we will see
There's
how
always a bit of apprehension anytime a Sonic game's coming out.
There is something legitimately that happens called the Sonic cycle. Someone has studied this in the video game world. A game comes out and it's hot garbage and everyone's like, this is it. I'm never falling for this again. I'm out of this. And then there's a trailer for the new Sonic game, which makes you go, oh, that actually looks pretty good. And then as you get close to release date, everyone gets excited again. Oh, this one will be different. This one will be different. And then the game launches and it's hot garbage. And you say, I'm never falling for that again. And then a new trailer gets released. We've been through this, people. Learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds a lot like Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, you know what it actually feels like? Is like a drug addict, because you start off with the highest of highs and you're like, this is the best thing ever. And then you can never match those highs as you continue to use the product.
Diminishing returns.
It's diminishing returns 100%. However, I did revisit a heck of a lot of the early Sonic games, probably 2 years ago. And I played every Sonic title and every Sonic spin-off title from the very first Sonic the Hedgehog 1991 Genesis release all the way through to everything pre-Dreamcast. Every title. Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic R, Tails Sky Patrol, Knuckles Chaotix, doesn't matter what it was on, I bought, how crazy am I? I bought an American Genesis and a 32X to play Knuckles Chaotix on actual hardware. Am I crazy?
Yes. Very much.
You're lucky that's all I bought. Remember when we were in Super Potato in Japan?
Oh my goodness.
Akihabara, and then we went to
Yes.
another one in Osaka. I could have spent many, many yen on Sonic the Hedgehog games that I have no need for. But boy, wouldn't it be nice to own a Sega Saturn? Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. That's what you've got me for my birthday, isn't it? So excited.
This is awkward. Moving on. What has been the most painful Sonic game for you to play personally?
So far, it has been Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. It was supposed to be the big reboot, essentially Sonic Adventure 3, a saga that I had loved, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2. You give me another game of that style, I'm a happy boy. Unfortunately, it was on terrible, terrible game engine, loading screens of up to literally 60 seconds to load a mission, which is just a guy talking, telling you what you're doing, and then you get another loading screen of about 60 seconds to actually try the mission, and maybe you fail within 5 seconds because you've fallen off the edge. Well, we'll give you another 60-second loading screen to then show the person telling you that you failed, and then a 60-second loading screen before you can then talk to him again to get the next 60-second loading screen to let him give you another chance at the mission. If you want to accept, you get another 60-second loading screen, and then you can try the mission again.
It sounds like Anthem.
Doesn't that sound like a barrel of laughs? That was also the game where Sonic the Hedgehog smooched a human female, which still gives me goosebumps. Not in a good way either. That made it sound like I enjoyed it. No, thank you. There was so much. There was a time-traveling plot that ultimately made no sense, and as far as time-traveling plots go, I have a pretty generous scope of what's acceptable. That failed miserably. And yes, I do like to bargain hunt, and I will buy pretty much anything Sonic related, so I do own a copy of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, which is critically the worst Sonic the Hedgehog game, but we have not played that yet. But it is my birthday week, and so guess what's on the menu for gaming goals this week?
Spoilers.
You are going to enjoy Sonic Boom.
You're not making me play.
Listen, it is a cooperative game, and we are in this relationship together, dear.
You're hurting me.
Sonic Stockholm Syndrome
No.
wants you as well. There is a very good reason why I am forcing you to play Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, and that is it is potentially relevant to next week's podcast, but I don't want to give away too much.
You trying to ruin the animation for me?
No, the animation's fine. Often it's the other way around. You'll have an animated movie that's good, and then all the supplemental material is garbage. In this case, Sonic Boom, the animation, is the saving grace of the Sonic Boom franchise, especially when Knuckles got muscle bound and it got strange. But voiced by Travis Willingham, so all is well.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yes.
We've run the gamut with our Sonic the Hedgehog's discussions.
Absolutely.
Anything else before we wrap up, dear?
I know I said before that I wasn't going to test your knowledge, but I'm going to test your knowledge.
Oh!
So.
Okay.
Quick lightning round quiz.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I guess so. I've been ready for this for 27 years, so go for it.
27 years. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Who is Sonic's greatest enemy?
Dr. Eggman.
Why is Eggman called Eggman? Because he loves eggs. Because he wants to steal all the eggs. Because he's shaped like an egg. There was no reason.
Shaped like an egg.
What was the name of the robotic servants Eggman wanted to turn the animals into?
Badniks.
When was the first Sonic game released?
1991.
What species is Knuckles?
Echidna. Knuckles the orangutan. I would pay money to see that. Imagine the reach on his
I'm
fists.
trying to give you multiple choices. You're cutting me off before I even get there. Where does the Master Emerald reside?
Angel Island.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Asgard. With what technique can the Chaos Emeralds be used to warp space and time?
Chaos Control.
In which 2012 Disney film does Sonic make an
Wreck-It
appearance?
Ralph.
What was Sonic the Hedgehog's name originally?
Mr. Needle Mouse. True story. That was the project name. That was, yeah.
Oh, not as bad as what Mario's name was going to be.
Jumpman.
How fast can Sonic run normally?
Mark 1. Speed of sound.
When running backwards, how fast can Sonic run? He never runs backwards, half his regular speed, even faster than when he goes forward, Just as fast as when he runs forward.
Just as fast.
You're doing so well. What is Sonic's top speed?
A little too well. Top speed.
Mm-hmm. Mark 1, 2, 3 or unknown.
Unknown? Because Supersonic can go very fast.
Yes,
so
it can.
I wasn't sure if that counted.
There's a lot of debate about that one. How does Sonic use his speed to heal his body? By vibrating it, by spinning on the spot, running through water at top speeds, or by running backwards around the world?
I am confused. Vibrating his body. I don't know this one. I got it right? Okay.
What dance style is Sonic's fighting technique derived from?
Breakdancing.
What can Sonic transform into by using the Chaos Emeralds?
Supersonic!
How many seasons did the first television series run for?
Ooh, 2?
Why was the Master Emerald created?
To balance the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Something like that.
Which power does the Chaos Emeralds grant Sonic when used to achieve a super state? He can have acid reflux, shoot lasers,
What a power!
flight or X-ray vision.
Flight.
There is a transformation even more powerful than supersonic. What's it called?
What's my gamer tag?
Hyper Brendo.
Hypersonic is greater than supersonic.
There you go.
It's when you get the super emeralds.
What is Sonic's weakness?
Water. Is water the answer?
What is the pun hidden in Tails' name miles per hour?
Miles per hour. Which, yes, admittedly took me a few years as a young man to figure out, but we got there.
Why does Sonic allow Tails to tag along at first? Tails is cool. He likes Tails' body. Tails knows where the
He
Chaos
likes
Emeralds...
what?
I'm just reading the thing. Tails knows where the Chaos Emeralds are. He's impressed that Tails can keep up with his speed.
Yeah, the last one. The last one.
What is the name of Tails' biplane? Miggy, Sonic, Spitfire or Tornado?
Tornado.
What is the name of Eggman's orbital fortress? Robostar, Eggstar, Mustachelite, Death Egg.
The Death Egg. Which is just a Death Star, but a bit longer, with a mustache on it.
What is the name of the hedgehog that travelled back in time?
Silver. I hate Silver the Hedgehog.
What unique power does Silver the Hedgehog have?
Telekinesis.
What is Knuckles' purpose in life?
To guard the Master Emerald.
What is Blaze the Cat's unique power?
Flame on. Pyrokinesis. Have I got anything wrong so far?
Not bad!
Is this embarrassing?
Who is both a rival and an ally of Sonic? Amy Rose, Tails, Cream, or Shadow?
Shadow.
In what area is Shadow the Hedgehog better than Sonic? Faster, stronger, better debater, can see further.
Can see further. I don't know this one. They're basically equals.
Oh!
Go see further.
No, stronger.
Stronger. That's debatable.
How did Eggman trick Knuckles into fighting Sonic and Tails?
Pointed at them for stealing the emeralds that he'd stolen.
Who is Sonic's self-proclaimed girlfriend?
Self-proclaimed. Amy Rose.
What purpose do the rings serve in the games? They show Sonic where to go. They allow him to go faster. They help him transform into hypersonic. They are a measure of a player's life.
I guess a measure of a player's life, but that's not even good wording.
What is Blaze the Cat scared of? Heights, mice, water, or fire?
Probably water.
Heights.
Oh.
You got one wrong. Yeah, you got one wrong.
Well, I'm sure she drowns just as well as Sonic does. Especially if her power's fire. Surely she'd be afraid of water.
This is Sonic, it's not Pokemon. What species is the character known as Cream?
A rabbit. And she has a chow named Cheese. Cream and cheese.
Which transformation of Sonic can travel at the speed of light? Rocket, Light, Mega, or Dark Sonic?
Light.
Dark Sonic.
Of course.
What was the name of Knuckles' very first own video game?
Knuckles Chaotix.
Where does Sonic store all the rings he collects?
In his butt.
He absorbs them into his skin. He eats them. A hidden pouch. No one knows.
No one knows. The great mysteries.
There's probably a lot of speculation about where that...
No. There's enough of that on the internet about Sonic, thank you.
Well, a near perfect score.
I'm pretty happy.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for just letting me do that. That actually made me really happy. Strangely happy.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for indulging my Sonic fandom, everybody. Let's cut the Sonic garbage out of this episode now and talk about our future gaming goals after this.
Share the love. Follow us on Twitter at BrendoGem. That's BrendoJem.
Apart from the wonderful Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, what are you planning on playing this week?
Maybe some more Smash Bros?
Yeah, you got the itch back for that game, have you?
I do. Maybe I'll actually learn how to play as another character for once.
Well, there's only about 79 of them, so you've got a couple of choices.
Yes. Just a few choices. Aside from that, though, I actually didn't get around to playing any Stardew Valley this week, so I would like to go back to the farm and relax a little bit.
I personally have been jumping all over the clock thanks to work's crazy hours. Shift work can be a killer, and I have played 1 day of Stardew Valley and fell asleep at the end of the day.
The music's too relaxing, huh?
Served its purpose, but I've been trying to stay up later, so that's not a good thing.
No.
Mass Effect 2 Arrival going to be on the books this week?
Yeah, absolutely. And possibly even number 3. I usually sometimes I'll finish 2 in the same day that I start 3 and like just let it flow because I'm like, I get that.
It's a good double play.
Yeah. So I usually get up to about Mars and then I pause for the next session.
Well, mark my words, Sekiro will be beaten by next podcast.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I said that last time, but thanks to the boss that I got stuck on, it didn't come to reality. But I'm past it now, and I'm feeling confident that I can go on the warpath.
The funny thing was that you got stuck on an optional boss.
Look, it got to the point where it was a principle of the matter that I had to beat him. I was not going to waste all that time with nothing to show for it. So I wasted more time to actually achieve something. Goodness me. The things I do for video games.
Yes. Well, you love them.
Apart from that, maybe some dabbling in Stardew Valley, but I don't really have much else planned for this next week. Sekiro is getting all of my focus.
Fair enough. Start wrapping up some games before heading overseas. Things to think about. And I think my focus isn't going to be 100% anyway because I'm just like waiting on news about Persona 5, the Royal. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see what state I'm in next week.
Track her down on the Gaming Lovers Twitter at BrendoGem and be kind. If things don't go the way that Gem expects them to go, she will need some kind words. And speaking of kind words, we've got 2 words for you.
Chowski.
And Bayonara. I didn't expect you to say that one. That's my word. Never do that again.
Chowski.
Thanks for listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. For more episodes or to watch some live stream gaming, visit thegaminglovers.com.
Happy birthday, me!